So here we're going to do a couple cladogram problems. Again, I'm not going to do every one on the worksheet. I'm going to do a select few, give you some pointers on how to complete the problems. You should then go complete them by yourself. Make sure you're checking the answer key, understanding where you went wrong, etc. So it says, the following table shows the percentage similarity in sequences of nucleotides from a homologous gene derived from 5 different species of mammals compared to that of a homologous human gene. In simpler terms, the percentage similarity between the human gene and the chimpanzee gene is 99.7%. Draw a cladogram depicting the evolutionary relationships among all 6 species according to their percentage similarity in the genes shown. So what you're looking at here is a percent of how closely related the animals are. Notice they're not in order. So the very first thing you should do when given a chart like this that is not in order is put this in order. It could be highest to lowest, but I'm going to say from lowest to highest relationship. So I'm just going to make a little notation here. I'm going to see the lowest one is the rabbit. So the rabbit's a 1. Then comes the rhesus monkey. And then we have the baboon, the orangutan, and the chimp. So remember, a cladogram has the general shape of a branching line with, branches coming off. And remember that a cladogram is going to show relationships and traits. Now this time we don't have traits. Notice we don't have lungs or backbone. So all you're going to do is put these animals in order from farthest to closest to a human. And I know it's a human because they said that in the problem. So it says similarities derived from a homologous of the human gene. So I know we're trying to get to a human. So remember, the closer an animal is in terms of lines, the closer related it is. So I'm going to need 5 lines here. Okay, this is a cladogram. And basically, I'm going to write the closest ancestor to the farthest ancestor or vice versa. So I know based on these percentages and based on what I just put in order, the farthest away, the one with the least common, is going to be the rabbit. So that's going to go in this first line here. This is the farthest away or the least related to a human. And then from here, I'm just going to kind of go in order. Because I already ordered them, it makes it much easier. So the next is going to be the rhesus monkey. And then it's going to be a baboon. And then we have the orangutan. And then we have the chimpanzee. So again, with the cladogram, sometimes they would give us traits like hair or backbone or spine, and those would kind of go this point on the line, what separates them. Not here, you're not given it, so you can't do anything you're not given. But remember, what you just did here is you created a cladogram that is showing how closely related these animals are to a human. The closer they are, the more closely related, the more common the ancestors. So you see a chimp and a human are the closest, a human and a rabbit are the farthest. You can also see a rabbit and a rhesus monkey are more closely related than a rhesus monkey and a chimp. So it's showing you those evolutionary relationships. This next one says, draw a cladogram based on the first 5 characteristics. Don't use the dorsal fin. In the table below, place hash marks on the tree indicating the origin of each of the 5 characters. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to cross out the dorsal fin so I don't forget to, not pay attention to that. Then I'm going to look at the chart. And this chart happens to be in order. So you see that the backbone, right? The 1s indicate they have it. The 0s means they don't. So a Lancelot does not have a backbone. The rest do. Hinged jaw, lamprey and Lancelot do not. The rest do. So you see it's kind of in that order where you start with the 0s and then you go with the 1s. The nice thing is that this is in order, is this is kind of the order of how closely related they are. The more things they have in common, the more closer related that they are to the next animal. So I'm going to draw my cladogram. Remember, it's just a line. Okay. What we're looking at is how closely related they are to basically the one that has everything, which is the dolphin. See how it's all 1s across the board. So I'm going to put a dolphin here because the dolphin has everything. And then from there, I'm going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 lines. Okay. Doesn't really matter that you draw them any kind of close together or not. The difference between this one and the last problem we did is we are going to include the characters that make the difference on the line. So, similar to the one we just did, the more characters they have in common, the more related they are. So, if we look, the Lancelot has only, right, or basically nothing in common. See the zeros? 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. So that means the Lancelot is the farthest away. So I'm going to write that there. And then, like I said before, they kind of go in order from here, right? So the lamprey only has one thing in common. And then we have the tuna, the salamander, getting a little close here, the turtle, and the leopard. So again, this is telling me the closer they are on the chart, the closer related they are. The difference here is going to be, for this one, you also need to include what traits are different, what traits kind of separate it. So if I look at the Lancelot, it has nothing, right? If I look at the next one, the lamprey has a backbone. The Lancelot does not. But everybody else has every other trait. So that is what you're going to put kind of here, separating, right, the Lancelot from everybody else. So you're going to put a little dot or a line, and you're going to put backbone. That is the separating trait. So what this means is the Lancelot does not have the backbone. Everybody else does. So I'm just going to kind of go right down with the traits. The next separating trait is going to be a hinged jaw. And then we're going to do 4 limbs. An amnion, which is an amniotic sac. And then we're going to do milk. Okay, so what you're looking at here is how closely related. The closer they are on the chart, the more closely related they are. And then these traits, everything that comes after the dot has the trait. Anything that becomes before the dot does not. So a Lancelot does not have a backbone. Everybody else does. The lamprey and the Lancelot do not have a hinged jaw. Everybody else does. That's how you kind of read this chart.